a brief skeletal handout on Jonathan Swift's life written by Ivona Brian, son of the English lawyer Jonathan Swift the Elder, was born in Dublin, Ireland, on the 30th of November 1667, grew up there in the care of his uncle before attending Trinity College at the age of 14, where he stayed for 7 years, graduating in 1688. In that year, became the secretary of Sir William Temple, an English politician and member of the Whig party. In 1694, took religious orders in the Church of Ireland and then spent a year as a country parson, then spent further time in the service of Temple before returning to Ireland to become the chaplain of the Earl of Berkeley. Meanwhile, had begun to write satires on the political and religious corruption surrounding him, working on A Tale of a Tub, which supports the position of the Anglican Church against its critics on the left and the right, and The Battle of the Books, which argues for the supremacy of the classics against modern thought and literature. Also wrote a number of political pamphlets in favor of the Whig party. In 1709, went to London to campaign for the Irish Church but was unsuccessful. After some conflicts with the Whig party, mostly because of Swift's strong allegiance to the Church, became a member of the more conservative Tory party in 1710. Unfortunately for Swift, the Tory government fell out of power in 1714 and, despite fame for writings, fell out of favour. Had been hoping to be assigned a position in the Church of England, instead returned to Dublin, where became the Dean of St. Patrick's. During his brief time in England, had become friends with writers such as Alexander Pope, and during a meeting of their literary club, the Martinus Scriblerus Club, they decided to write satires of modern learning. 3rd Voyage of Gulliver's Travels is assembled from the work Swift did during this time. However, final work was not completed until 1726. Narrative of the third voyage was actually the last one completed. After his return to Ireland, became a staunch supporter of the Irish against English attempts to weaken their economy and political power, writing pamphlets such as the satirical A Modest Proposal, in which suggests Irish problems of famine and overpopulation could be easily solved by having the babies of poor Irish subjects sold as delicacies to feed the rich. Gulliver's Travels was a controversial work when first published in 1726. In fact, it was not until almost 10 years after its first printing, book appeared with the entire text Swift had originally intended it to have. Ever since, editors have excised many of the passages, particularly the more caustic ones dealing with bodily functions. Even without those passages, however, Gulliver's Travels serves as a biting satire, and Swift ensures, both humorous and critical, constantly attacking British and European society through its descriptions of imaginary countries. Late in life, seemed to many observers to become even more caustic. Describes a remark or way of speaking that is hurtful, critical or intentionally unkind and bitter than he had been. 3 years before death, was declared unable to care for himself, and guardians were appointed. Based on these facts and on a comparison between Swift's fate and that of his character Gulliver, some people have concluded, gradually became insane. Insanity was a natural outgrowth of his indignation and outrage against humankind. However, truth seems to be, was suddenly incapacitated to make someone unable to work or do things normally, or unable to do what they intended to do by a paralytic stroke late in life. Prior to this incident, mental capacities were unimpaired. Gulliver's Travels is about a specific set of political conflicts, but if it were nothing more than that, it would long ago have been forgotten. Staying power of the work comes from its depiction of the human condition and its often despairing, but occasionally hopeful, sketch of the possibilities for humanity to rein in its baser instincts. The writer is assistant professor of English and director, Language Center, University of Information Technology and Sciences.